Trust India and Lavender Literacy Club India, which is on academic writing and researching skill. I am very thankful to Professor Vledika, who is the president of International Research Academy of Arts and Science, Belgrade, Republic of Serbia. And many thanks to Professor Marija Muskar, who is the vice president, Republic of Serbia. And to Dr. Shelja Vasudeva, young and energetic lady, convener of this event and international coordinator of Cape Comorin Trust India and country director IRASA India branch. And last but not the least, to the Regent Silvish, President Cape Comorin Trust, for creating knowledgeable platform for all. Now, I am going to invite our first speaker, Ajra Tajhi. She is from the University of English Language and Linguistic Department from Iran. She is teacher from Koei. She is the Global Educator Leader Awardee 2021 by International Council for Educators, by International Internship University, SPSC Ambassador, Sustainable Procurement and Supply Chain, Ambassador Parin Makadia team, Roundtable Exclusive Talk Show, Episode 7, Sharing and Caring with Global Educator, and 21st DigiSkill Team Speaker. She was selected as DigiSkill Team Speaker. She's from the DigiSkill Team Iran country, Honorary Project Director, Best Global Educator awarded by IEU, International Internship University Selected Resource Person, and Global Teacher Award, Education Award India. Today she'll be speaking about exploring comparison of teacher feedback role versus AI feedback role in research structure. Now all the stage is yours. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome, Ajra.
Hi, thank you for introducing me. Good evening, all, and thank you, Dr. Shalija and all team for having me here. I will try to share my presentation. Just a minute. I'm trying to share it. Sorry, I need just 1 minute to share it because of internet problem. Now I shared it. Can you see it?
Not yet.
It's loading, I think. Here
Yeah.
shows. Can you
Yes.
see it?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. Now it's
great.
visible. Now it's visible.
Okay. Yes, my topic is artificial intelligence feedback versus teacher feedback in research structure. You see that how about these differences, you see that artificial intelligence in picture about number and algorithm, and you can see that how a teacher can think about emotion and their thoughts and can according their needs. And feedback means words have power. You should pay attention to your word power. And my introduction include background on importance of feedback in education, introduction to role of teacher feedback, and artificial intelligence feedback in research structure, teacher feedback role, definition and purpose of teacher feedback, importance of personalized contextualized feedback, benefits of teacher feedback in student learning and development, challenges and limitations of teacher feedback, artificial intelligence feedback role, definition and purpose of artificial intelligence feedback, advantage of artificial intelligence feedback in terms of scalability and efficiency, potential for personalized and adaptive feedback through artificial intelligence algorithms, limitations and concerns regarding quality and reliability of artificial intelligence feedback. Comparison between teacher feedback and artificial intelligence feedback rules. Also, similarities between teacher feedback and artificial intelligence rules. Providing guidance, identifying areas for improvement, differences between teacher and artificial intelligence feedback rules, human touch, subjectivity, adaptability, research structure for comparing teacher feedback versus artificial intelligence feedback rules, research questions, how does quality teacher feedback compare to provided by artificial intelligence? What are the perceptions and preferences of students regarding teacher versus artificial intelligence feedback? How does student performance differ when receiving teacher versus artificial intelligence feedback? Methodology, sample selection, and data analysis, summary, key points, implications, and feedback plays a crucial role in education as helps students to understand their strengths and weakness, improve learning outcomes, and develop their weakness and improve learning outcome, develop growth mindset. Here are some key reasons why feedback is important in education. Identifying strengths, weakness, feedback provides students with valuable insight into their performance, highlighting areas where they excel and areas they need improvement. This self-awareness allows students to focus on students and with valuable insight performance, highlighting areas and self-awareness to focus on specific aspects of their learning, make necessary adjustments. Motivation, engagement, constructive, positive feedback can motivate students by recognizing their effort and achievement. It helps them stay engaged in learning process as they feel supported and encouraged to continue working toward their goals. Learning from mistakes, feedback helps students learn from their mistakes by providing guidance on how correct errors or misconceptions. It encourages them to reflect on their work, identify areas of improvement, develop problem-solving skills. Personalized learning. Effective feedback is tailored to individual student needs, allowing educators to provide personalized guidance based on each student's strengths, weakness, learning style. Individualized approach enhances effectiveness of instruction promotes students' growth. Building self-confidence. Positive feedback boosts students' self-confidence by acknowledging their progress achievements. It instills a sense of accomplishment, encourages them to take risks, fosters a positive attitude toward learning. Goal setting. Feedback helps students set realistic goals for themselves based on their current performance levels. By providing specific targets for improvement, it enables students to track their progress over time and work toward achieving desired outcomes. Developing critical thinking skills. Feedback encourages students to think critically about their work by asking questions, challenging assumptions, suggesting alternative approaches. This process enhances analytical thinking skills and promotes deeper understanding of subject matter. Teacher-student communication, interaction, and collaborative projects. Feedback facilitates effective communication between teachers and students, creating a supportive learning environment where both parties can exchange ideas, clarify doubts, and address concerns. This interaction builds trust and strengthens the teacher-student relationship. In summary, feedback in education research is essential for student growth, motivation, improvement. It empowers students to take ownership of their learning, their autonomy, and fosters growth mindset, helps them develop necessary skills to succeed academically and beyond. Introduction. In recent years, the integration of artificial intelligence in education research has gained significant attention. One area where artificial intelligence has shown promise is providing feedback to students on their academic work. This is aims to explore, compare role of teacher feedback and artificial intelligence feedback in the context of research structure. By examining their strengths and limitations, we can gain insight into how these two feedback mechanisms can complement each other to enhance student learning experiences. Teacher feedback role. Teachers have traditionally played a crucial role in providing feedback to students. Their expertise allows them to evaluate various aspects of a research structure, including content, organization, allows them to evaluate various aspects, coherence, grammar. Teachers can provide personalized comments that address individual student needs, helping them understand their strengths and areas for improvement. Moreover, teachers can engage in dialogue with students, clarifying doubts, offering guidance for further development. However, teacher feedback also has limitations. The availability of teacher time restricts the frequency and timeliness of feedback delivery. Additionally, subject biases may influence evaluation process, leading to inconsistency across different teachers' assessment. Furthermore, teachers may not always process domain-specific knowledge required for evaluating complex research topics comprehensively. Artificial intelligence feedback role. Artificial intelligence powered systems offer an alternative approach to providing feedback on research structure essays. These systems use natural learning process algorithms to analyze various aspects of student writing objectively. They can identify grammatical errors, suggest improvements in sentence structure or vocabulary usage, and even evaluate the overall coherence in organization and essay. One significant advantage of artificial intelligence feedback is its ability to provide instant responses. Students receive immediate suggestions for improvement without having to wait for their teacher's availability or grading cycle. Moreover, artificial intelligence systems can handle large volumes of essays simultaneously, ensuring scalability across classroom or educational institutions. However, artificial intelligence feedback also has limitations that need consideration. While artificial intelligence algorithms can detect surface level errors, they may struggle to understand the nuance of complex topics or evaluate the depth of critical thinking. Artificial intelligence systems may also lack the ability to provide personalized feedback tailored to individual student needs, as they often rely on predefined rules and patterns. Complementing rules. Rather than viewing teacher feedback and artificial intelligence feedback as competing entities, a more productive approach is to consider their complementary roles. Teachers can leverage artificial intelligence powered systems to automate certain aspects of feedback provision, such as grammar, syntax correction. This allows teachers to focus on higher order concepts like content analysis, critical thinking evaluation, and providing personalized guidance. By combining the strengths of both teacher feedback and artificial intelligence feedback, students can benefit from a comprehensive evaluation process. They receive timely and objective suggestions from artificial intelligence systems, while also benefiting from their expertise and domain-specific knowledge of their teachers. This hybrid approach ensures a holistic learning experience that addresses both technical writing skills and conceptual understanding. Teacher feedback and artificial intelligence feedback play distinct but complementary roles in evaluating research structure stage. While teachers provide personalized guidance based on their expertise, artificial intelligence systems offer instant and objective suggestions for improvement. By embracing both approaches, educators can enhance student learning. Teacher feedback plays a crucial role in the research structure essay. It provides valuable guidance and insight to students, helping them improve their writing skills, enhance overall quality of their research paper. Some key aspects of teacher feedback in the research structure essay. Sorry. Clarity and organization. Teachers provide feedback on their clarity and organization of the essay. They assess whether the introduction effectively introduces the topic, if there is a logical flow of ideas, if each paragraph supports the main argument. Feedback helps students refine their structure, ensuring that their research paper is well organized and easy to follow. Thesis statement. Thesis statement is a critical component of a research structure essay. Teachers provide feedback on its clarity, relevance, strengths. They help students refine their thesis statement to ensure it correctly reflects the purpose of their research and guide the direction of their paper. Research methods and feedback from teachers help students evaluate their chosen research method. Teachers may suggest alternative methods or provide guidance on how to improve existing ones. This feedback ensures that students are using appropriate methods to gather data for their research. Literature review. Teachers play a significant role in guiding students through literature review process. They provide feedback on selection of relevant sources, critique summaries, and analysis, and suggest additional sources for consideration. This feedback helps students develop a comprehensive literature review, support their research objective. Analysis and interpretation. Teacher feedback assists students in analyzing and interpreting their findings accurately. They may point out any inconsistencies or gaps in reasoning, offer suggestions for further analysis, or help students draw meaningful conclusions for their data. Language and style. Teachers also provide feedback on language usage, grammar, punctuation, and overall writing style in research structure essay. They help students improve sentence construction, eliminate unnecessary jargon or repetition, enhance clarity in expression. Formatting and citations. Feedback from teachers ensures that students adhere to the required formatting guidelines and correctly cite their sources. Teachers may provide guidance on citation style, formatting references, or adherence to academic standards. Overall, teacher feedback plays a vital role in shaping the research structure essay. It helps students refine their writing skills, develop critical thinking abilities, produce high-quality research papers. By providing positive constructive feedback, teachers empower students to become better researchers and writers. Artificial intelligence has become integral part of various industries, fields, including research, education field. In the realm of research, artificial intelligence feedback plays a crucial role in enhancing structure and quality of essays. This aims to explore significance of artificial intelligence feedback in research structure. One of primary benefits of artificial intelligence feedback in research essays is its ability to provide objective and unbiased evaluations. Unlike human reviewers, who may be influenced by personal biases or subjective opinions, artificial intelligence algorithms analyze essays based on predefined criteria and standards. This ensures that researchers receive fair and impartial feedback, enabling them to improve their work effectively. Moreover, artificial intelligence feedback offers researchers a comprehensive analysis of their essays. These algorithms can assess various aspects such as grammar, spelling, coherence, and logical flow by highlighting areas that need improvement. Researchers can refine their writing skills to produce high-quality essays, meet academic standards. Furthermore, artificial intelligence feedback provides researchers with instant evaluations. Traditionally, obtaining feedback from human reviewers could be time-consuming and may cause delays in research process. However, with artificial intelligence algorithms, researchers can receive immediate feedback on their essays. This expedited revision process allows researchers to make timely improvements. In addition to providing objective evaluation and instant immediate feedback, artificial intelligence algorithms also offer personalized suggestions for improvement. These algorithms are trained on vast amounts of data and can identify common mistakes or weaknesses in writing style. By offering tailored recommendations, suggestions based on individual unique needs, Artificial intelligence feedback assists researchers in addressing a specific area for enhancement. Another significant advantage of artificial intelligence feedback is its scalability in research settings where numerous assets need evaluation. It may be challenging for human reviewers to provide timely feedback for each submission. However, artificial intelligence algorithms can handle large volumes of essays simultaneously without compromising quality or speed. This scalability ensures that all researchers receive valuable feedback promptly. Despite these advantages, it is important to acknowledge some limitations associated with relying solely on artificial intelligence feedback in research structured essays. While artificial intelligence algorithms excel at evaluating technical aspects of writing, they may lack the ability to assess the depth and originality of ideas. Human reviewers often provide valuable insight and critical analysis that artificial intelligence algorithms may not capture. Therefore, combination of artificial intelligence feedback and human evaluation is recommended for comprehensive assessment. Artificial intelligence feedback plays a crucial role in enhancing the structure of research essays. In objective evaluation, comprehensive analysis, instant feedback, personalized suggestions, and scalability contribute significantly to improving the quality of research writing. However, it is essential to recognize the limitations of artificial intelligence feedback and supplement it with human evaluation for a holistic assessment. As artificial intelligence continues to advance, its roles in research structure essays is likely to expand further, revolutionizing the way researchers receive feedback and refine their work. Advantages of teacher feedback role in research structure essay. Expert guidance. Teachers have expertise in subject matter and can provide valuable insights and guidance to students during their research process. Their feedback can help students refine their research questions, identify relevant sources, and develop a coherent argument. Improvement of critical thinking skills. Teacher feedback encourages students to think critically about their research and writing. By pointing out strengths and weaknesses in their work, teachers help students develop a more analytical approach to their research, leading to improved critical thinking skills. Personalized learning. Teacher feedback is tailored to each student's specific unique needs, abilities. This individualized attention allows students to receive targeted advice on how to improve their research structure, argumentation, or writing style. Motivation and encouragement. Positive feedback from teachers can boost students' motivation and confidence in their research abilities. It provides validation for their efforts and encourages them to continue working on their project with enthusiasm. Disadvantage of teacher feedback role in research structure essay. Subjectivity. Teacher feedback is subjective related by nature, as its reflects the personal opinions, ideas, preferences of the teacher. This subjectivity may lead to inconsistent in grading or biased evaluations that do not accurately reflect the quality of the student's work. Limited perspectives, teachers may have limited perspectives or biases that could influence their feedback. They might favor certain approaches or ideas over others, potentially limiting diversity of viewpoints explored by students in their research. Time constraints. Teachers often have limited time available for providing detailed feedback on every aspect of a student's research or essay. This time constraint may result in superficial comments or a lack of comprehensive guidance, leaving some areas unaddressed. Dependency on teacher input. Relying solely on teacher feedback may hinder students' ability to develop independent thinking skills or self-evaluation capabilities or peer evaluation. Students might become overly reliant on teachers for direction instead of developing their research and critical thinking skills. It is important to note that while there are potential disadvantages, the advantage of teacher feedback in research practices generally outweigh the drawbacks. The key is to ensure that feedback is provided in a fair, constructive, positive, supportive manner, allowing students to grow and improve their research skills. Advantages of artificial intelligence feedback role in research structure. Efficiency. Artificial intelligence can provide instant feedback on research papers, saving time for researchers and allowing them to make necessary revisions quickly. This can significantly speed up their research process and increase productivity. Objectivity. Artificial intelligence feedback is based on algorithm data analysis, which eliminates subjective biases that may present human feedback. Researchers can rely on artificial intelligence to provide unbiased evaluations of their work, ensuring a fair assessment. Consistency. Artificial intelligence feedback is consistent across different papers and researchers. It allows for definite criteria and standards, reducing variability that may occur with human reviewers. This consistency helps maintain a high level of quality control in research evaluation. Scalability. With the increasing volume of research paper being published, it becomes challenging for human reviewers to keep up with the demand for feedback. Artificial intelligence handles large volumes of paper simultaneously, making it scalable to accommodate the growing number of submissions. Accessibility. Artificial intelligence feedback can be available, allowing researchers to receive evaluation at any time convenient for them. This accessibility ensures that researchers can progress with their work without being dependent on human availability or scheduling constraints. Disadvantage of artificial intelligence feedback role in research is lack of contextual understanding or contextual cues. Artificial intelligence may struggle to understand the nuance and context specific aspects of research paper. It may not fully grasp the underlying concept or appreciate the significance of certain findings, leading to potentially inaccurate and incompetent feedback. Limited creativity and critical thinking. Artificial intelligence is programmed based on predefined rules, algorithm number, which restricts its ability to provide innovative or creative out-of-the-box suggestions, thoughts for improvement. Human reviews often bring unique perspectives and insight that an artificial intelligence may lack. Inability to handle complex topics. Some research areas require deep domain expertise or specialized knowledge that an artificial intelligence system might not possess. Complex interdisciplinary studies or highly technical subjects may be challenging for an artificial intelligence system to evaluate accurately. Lack of empathy or understanding emotions. Artificial intelligence feedback may lack the human touch, and emotional intelligence can be valuable in providing constructive criticism. Human reviewers can empathize with the challenges faced by researchers and offer personalized feedback, which an artificial intelligence system may not be able to replicate. Ethical concerns. The use of artificial intelligence research evaluation raises ethical questions regarding data privacy, bias in algorithm design, potential job displacement for human reviewers. These concerns need to be addressed to ensure responsible and fair implementation of artificial intelligence feedback systems. While artificial intelligence feedback offers several advantages, such as efficiency, objectivity, consistency, and scalability and accessibility in research evaluation, it also has limitations related to contextual understanding, creativity, handling complex topics, empathy, ethical considerations. A balanced approach that combines the strengths of artificial intelligence with human expertise is crucial for an effective research structure that promotes quality and innovation. In the research structure, the role of teacher feedback and artificial intelligence feedback can be compared in terms of their effectiveness, reliability, personalization, potential limitations. Effectiveness, teacher feedback. Teachers have extensive knowledge and experience in their subject areas, allowing them to provide detailed and insightful feedback to students. They can identify specific areas of improvement, offer personalized suggestions for growth. Additionally, teachers can provide encouragement and motivation to students, fostering a positive learning environment. Artificial intelligence feedback systems can analyze large amounts of data quickly and provide immediate feedback to students. They can identify patterns in student performance and offer general recommendations based on predefined criteria. They can provide feedback, and they can be particularly effective in providing consistent feedback across a large number of students. Reliability. Teacher feedback is subjective but often reliable due to their expertise. However, there may be variation in quality and consistency feedback provided by different teachers. Additionally, teachers may have biases that could influence their evaluation. Artificial intelligence feedback systems are programmed based on predefined criteria and algorithms, making their feedback more objective and consistent. However, they lack human judgment, may not fully understand the content or nuances of students' work. This could result in accurate and or incomplete feedback. Personalization. Teacher feedback. Teachers have the ability to personalize their feedback according to individual student needs. They can consider each student's strengths, weakness, learning style, and progress over time when providing feedback. Artificial intelligence can offer personalized recommendations based on individual student data collected over time. This personalization is limited to predefined criteria set by developers and may not fully capture unique needs preferences of each student. Limitation. Teacher feedback. The availability of teacher feedback depends on factors such as class size, workload, and time constraints. Providing timely and detailed feedback to every student might be challenging for teachers with limited resources. And artificial intelligence feedback systems heavily rely on data input for accurate analysis and feedback. If the data is incomplete, biased, or not representative of diverse student population, the feedback may be flawed. Additionally, artificial intelligence systems cannot provide the same level of emotional support and encouragement as human teachers. Teacher feedback and artificial intelligence feedback play distinct roles in research strategy. While teacher feedback offer expertise, personalization, motivation, inspiration, artificial intelligence feedback provide efficiency, consistency, scalability, and combining both approaches can potentially enhance quality of feedback provided for students in research settings. The comparison of teacher feedbacks and artificial intelligence feedback rule. Do you have my voice? And my slide? Yes. The comparison of teacher feedback rule and artificial feedback rule in research structure highlights several important points. Firstly, teacher feedback plays a crucial role in providing personalized and contextualized guidance to students. Teachers have the ability to understand unique needs, learning styles of individual students, allowing them to tailor the feedback accordingly. This personalized approach fosters a deeper understanding of subject matter and promotes critical thinking skills. On the other hand, artificial intelligence feedback offers certain advantages advantages that cannot be replicated by human teachers. Artificial systems can process vast amounts of data quickly, provide instant, immediate feedback to students. This immediate response helps students identify their mistakes and them promptly. Additionally, systems can provide consistent feedback across multiple students, ensuring fairness in evaluation. However, it is important to note that artificial intelligence feedback is limited in ability to understand complex nuances and emotions that may be present in students or human teachers possesses empathy and can provide emotional support when necessary, which is crucial for student motivation and well-being. Furthermore, teacher feedback allows for a more holistic evaluation of student performance. Teachers can assess not only final outcome but also consider the effort, put into completing a task or assignment. This comprehensive assessment takes into account various factors such as creativity, problem-solving skills, and growth mindset. In contrast, artificial intelligence feedback primarily focuses on objective criteria such as grammar correctness or mathematical accuracy. While this type of evaluation is valuable for certain subjects or tasks, it may not capture the full range of skills and abilities that teachers can assess. Both teacher feedback and artificial intelligence feedback play important roles in the research structure. Teacher feedback provides personalized guidance, emotional support, and holistic evaluation, while artificial intelligence feedback offers efficiency, consistency, and objective assessment. A balanced approach that combines the strengths of both human teachers and artificial intelligence systems would likely yield optimal results in supporting student learning and development. You know that artificial intelligence, known as machine intelligence, demonstrated by machine construct to natural intelligence and define the study of intelligent agents and devices perceive its environment and take action that maximizes its chance of successfully achieving goals applied in learning and problem solving. Artificial intelligence is part of our life, whether we know it or not, whether we accept it or not. It has rising to such stages over years in a slow, steady manner. Everything that we do, like buying clothing, shows on internet, education research says, as well as watching shows on TV, YouTube, are influenced to various extent by artificial intelligence. And however, question needs to be asked in this context is what effect would this have on our research education? Artificial intelligence in research education enhances quality of our research education. Over the last decade, there are several challenges of learning, including language processing, reasoning, planning, cognitive modeling, have been addressed for artificial intelligence applications. In fact, both education, research education, and artificial intelligence have been made for each other. Whereas research education is a means to develop minds capable of leveraging the knowledge pool, while artificial intelligence provides tools for developing a more accurate and detailed picture of how everything works. There are many advantages of artificial intelligence provide like tutoring, grading, and any personalization in research education, feedback on course and quality, immediate instant feedback to students, and etc. A few previous examples really prove it, such as smart content creation from digitalized guides or textbooks to customizable learning with digital interpretations and facilitator for the learning environments. It is to create visual human-like characters who can think, act, react, interact in a natural way, responding to and using both verbal and non-verbal communication. Is a domain largely handled by human-to-human interaction, and however, integration of artificial intelligence have been sure to develop necessary human-like attributes of responsiveness and adaptability and understanding. Creating a global education content with artificial intelligence would be possible for schools and universities to create global classrooms in education research as it were. From now on, it would no longer matter as to where a student is. If she or he is unable to attend a class due to some reason or other, all she or he would need to do is visit a link, click on it, and it can join any classroom about education research. Similarly, thanks to this technology, it would also be possible for humans to interact with their peers even if they were 1,000 miles apart from each other, making educational research a lot more interesting than before. Things such as game technology simulation are expected to play major roles in this regard. It can actually make education a lot more adaptive and intuitive. In fact, such technology can be actually used in order to encourage, motivate students to come together and develop themselves. This is something that you need so badly in this way, in this day and age, short attention span. Artificial intelligence can correctly interpret student needs, design an appropriate assessment. It can show students' mastery reflections as needed and correctly design a personalized learning plan for each student. It makes a lot easy for teachers and management to keep track of how well or poorly the students are performing. Such system can be used to deal effectively with the vast volume of data statistics that these schools and colleges normally have. They can use these to define reports that help them understand progress being made by various students. Universities and higher education institutions are increasingly looking to technology to address the challenge of student retention who enroll in higher education but do not end up obtaining a degree. They have education midway, they end up not being learning. Seeking a way to improve their retention refers to higher education. By analyzing data from educational literature surveys, studies, artificial intelligence can detect the key reasons behind attrition and drop-offs. This is in turn help the institution to plug and find gaps wherever possible, improve their own university rankings by improving their retention rate. Have I time? Do I have time? Can I continue?
Yes, Dr. Ajra.
Yes. Okay, I'll continue. Artificial intelligence has been a topic of interest in education for decades, and its application in ENT has been no exception, and developments in natural learning processing and machine learning being used to analyze large amounts of data on students' performance, allowing teachers to identify areas where students need additional support. Chatbots are being developed to can simulate conversation with native speakers, providing students with opportunities for authentic language practice. Virtual reality environments are being created that allows students to immerse themselves in real-world situations where they can practice their language skills. Machine learning algorithms can be used to analyze student writing samples and provide instant feedback on grammar, vocabulary, and style. And thank you very much for listening, because very comprehensive topic and many slides, but because of time, manage of time.
Thank you, Dr. Ajra. Thank you. Thank you so much. So today you did the comparison of teacher feedback role versus AI feedback role in research structure. And
Yes.
yes, and Dr. Ajay, you have clear vision for the future, and you have provided valuable insights and perspectives regarding emerging trends. Thank you so much. Now the platform is open for the queries. If anybody wants to ask something from Dr. Ajra, they can ask.
If any question, I am here.
No. Thank you, Dr. Ajra. So
Thank you
now,
for having me here.
thank you so much. Now I'll be inviting our second speaker of the day, Dr. Sudhakar Umale. He is the adjunct professor from Thakur College of Engineering, Kandivali, East Mumbai. Former head and associate professor, Mechanical Engineering Department, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Andheri, Mumbai. He has vast teaching experience of 35 years uh, in Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai, as well as Bharati Vidyapeeth College of Engineering, Navi Mumbai, from July 1997 to January 2000. He has done PhD in material science from VNIT Nagpur and mechanical engineering machine design from SPC Mumbai in August 2001. His areas of research are IC engine, heat transfer, automobile engineering, ductile cast iron, biofuel, combustion engineering. He has considerable publication in reputed journals. And Dr. Sudhakar Umale, he is guiding MTech and PhD students. And he has delivered expert lectures in many FDPs, STTPs, and it's great in number, sir. 113. Quite impressive number, sir. And he has
Thank you.
and he has conducted and coordinating in SPC, that is equal to 14. FDPs and SCTPs attended 86. Sir, I don't know what kind of amount you spend over here. Really commendable, sir. And
Thank you very much.
he is having membership in scientific and professional societies, life member of ISTE, life member of ISNT, IIT membership number, SA India membership number, Quality Circle Forum of India membership number, and many awards and achievements are in his bucket. Best Technical Paper Award 2015 by Indian Institute of Foundrymen, governing body member of SAI India Western Section, PhD supervisor at Mumbai University, work as jury for a paper presentation at symposium, appointed as subject board expert in Board of Studies, working as advisory committee member in Student Convention, SA India Western Section, and received Gold Medal Award for poster presentation at international exhibition. So welcome, sir. Welcome on the board for your insights, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for introduction. Shall I present my?
Yes. Yes, yes, sir.
So it is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Okay. Good evening, all of you, dear participants. Dr. Saileja Vasudeva, convener of workshop. Welcome all to my lecture on thesis writing techniques and planning. I have chosen this topic because writing a thesis is a significant part of PhD program. The original research is presented as a thesis at the end of their course. A thesis, therefore, is the written evidence of the efforts that are well written, scientifically accurate, and understandable. Thesis writing is challenging for the researchers. The researchers must have in-depth knowledge of the research methodology. The research would be very clear about their topics, the objectives, and the methods. Hence, they must have an interest in that particular area. They would start from the basics of thesis, like a title page and the abstract. They should know the importance of plagiarism and grammar checking. Doing a literature review provides in-depth knowledge of a particular field. The research candidate will be awarded a doctorate or PhD upon completion of thesis writing completely. To complete the thesis, research methodology is essential. Before start of writing thesis, before start of the thesis, we require planning and strategy for writing good work. Write your project reports like a scientist or professional writer. Writing is an important tool for the success. I have 4 questions to you, and you listen that questions very carefully and you think about it. Do you have the motivation and commitment? This is the first question. Do you have reading and writing skills? This is the second question. If you don't have reading and writing skills, you cannot understand what to write in the thesis. Third question is very important. What is the exact date of submission? When you want to do PhD, your starting date is fixed, but end date is not fixed. And hence, whenever you want to submit, you have some limitation of the time. Fourth question is very important for the PhD candidate. What are the rules about the format? During writing a thesis, there are so many formats, and that format must be written. You have to write the thesis in particular format. I want to explain from starting of this. You must understand what is the meaning of thesis. A thesis is a communication between the researcher and the rest of the world. It has to give the reader a good understanding of the work done and appreciation of the research. The thesis must be very well structured and well designed to do this. A thesis, therefore, is the written evidence of the efforts put in by the student for the length of their program. In addition to writing the thesis, special or several associated activities should be considered, such as presenting your work at conferences and writing a scientific paper. Before that, I want to ask some of the questions to you before introduction of PhD work. What are that questions? What are the theme of the thesis work? If you are not able to understand the theme of the thesis work, you can't write your thesis. What is the purpose of thesis writing? What is the purpose of your research? And main objective of the research is very important. If you are not able to understand main objective of the research, your work is not complete. You fail during writing. Most important question is that what is the hypothesis for writing scientific research? If you are not aware of meaning of hypothesis, then you are not able to complete thesis or writing is incomplete. Last question is that what might the research lead to, or how it is useful for the society? These are the very important question. Before start of writing, you must think about it. Then I will start introduction of PhD work. PG or PhD students want to know what does a dissertation on thesis look like. Everybody wants a good work always, but you fail somewhere that your work is not successful. You have to find out why your work is not successful. I want to tell you, I would like to explain why the work is not successful in my presentation. There are variation in writing thesis among the universities, departments, and even thesis committees and faculty members. Because in different countries, different universities, different departments, the formats are different, and according to the formats, your thesis writing techniques must be changed. And hence, PhD students recognize the need for some skeletal structure to assemble the researchers' ideas, data, and conclusions. I will focus in my lecture researchers' ideas, data collected by the researchers, and the conclusions written by the researchers. When you understand the introduction of PhD work, before that, I want to explain what is exact research work. So, when you want to do the research, you must have inspiration, you must have some motivation to do the research. And hence, research and for completion of research, I can say inspiration and motivation are the two fundamental ingredients for the research work. If these are absent, definitely you cannot complete your writing work in proper way. Without proper research and motivation, it is very difficult to conduct research. And hence, I want to explain exact technical meaning of the research to you. Research is a mixture of inspiration. What do you mean by inspiration? Hypothesis generations. I will explain how to motivate for writing hypothesis generation, and you must have the rational thinking. What is exactly rational thinking? Rational thinking is the idea of design of your research work, execution of crucial experiments, because you are doing some experimentation in that, and we are doing some executions of that crucial experiments. Analysis of results in terms of existing theory. You are doing some analysis of that theory. And hence, what is important is that the selection of suitable topic is the first major step in writing report. If you are unable to select your research area, your suitable topic of research, definitely you take lot of time. You cannot complete within the period, and hence your techniques of selecting your topic is very important. I will explain how you go for a suitable topic in my further presentation. Before that, I want to explain something again. Successful thesis writing can be represented in different steps. These are a selection of a suitable research area, assess the availability of facilities, infrastructures, and resources. Consider obtaining support and grants for research. Without support of your colleagues, your guide, your supervisor, and what is important is that funds or grants for the research work. Next thing is that preparation of the objectives. If you fail in preparation of the objectives, conduct research as per the study design. This is very important. Conduct research as per the study design. You have to design your research work. That is called as research design. Next is that you have to collect data of your research. You have to storage that research data for particular writing. You have to do the analysis. You have to arrange all the data. You have to do the sequencing of the material that you have. Writing the thesis is editing the thesis content is very important. Editing for language. If you are writing in wrong language, your thesis may be rejected. You have to avoid a lot of ambiguity in data presentation. Many students, many candidates don't have the idea, and hence they are creating a lot of ambiguity in data representation. Next thing is that checking for plagiarism, because when you want to do any research work, you have to check the plagiarism. Otherwise, your project may not be submitted. Copyright is very important. I will explain all these things one by one. Copyright, acknowledgements, when you want to do any research work, you are using so many papers, you are using so many ideas. I have to acknowledge that disclosures and conflicts of the interest. Many times you have to face the conflicts of your interest, and during that period you are not able to do it. And hence, by considering all these things, topic selection is very important. If your topic selection is wrong, you cannot complete it. And hence, you have to identify 2 or 3 broad areas in which many different types of research may be pursued. If you select one area and if you are not able to find out your research work in that area, that may take a lot of time. And hence, simultaneously, you have to take 2 or 3 areas of your liking research. As soon as you select a broad study area, it would be best if you immersed yourself in the literature published and available in that area. We will discuss later on literature published area, available area later on. Hence, I will provide an extensive discussion of the contents of the technical report and try to offer your recommended format. The thesis should be concise, accurate, and complete as possible. Writing a technical report begins with planning the work on which the information is based. Hence, I want to explain something again. The first step in thesis writing is to choose the appropriate research area. The research topic should be the particular specialty thrust area. You have to find out your thrust area for completion of your thesis and relevant to the existing knowledge gap. What is important in research work? That is the existing knowledge gap. If you are not able to find out a existing knowledge gap, you cannot do the research work. And hence, I want to explain again something. It is essential to remember that report writing is an integral part of the thought process, because if you are not applying your thought process, writing is not complete. It helps to define and order ideas and to drive well considered conclusions so that further planning of the work can be undertaken. Whenever we have different thought processes, different ideas, that ideas and thought process can be arranged in order in such a way that your thesis writing must be beautiful. And hence, we have to have some knowledge about criteria for topic selections. I will explain what criteria you are using during topic selections. Selection of an appropriate topic is based on following criteria. That is, first is interest, significance, available data, knowledge and skills, manageability, funding. And I want to explain all these criteria in detail to you. So what is this criteria? What is this criteria, or what is this interest? You must have the interest in doing your work. Generally, topic must be professional and personal interest. Why I am telling topic is professional? Because you become a good person, good writer, and that thesis has very important for other persons also, other organizations also. And hence, your personal interest is very important. Otherwise, if you don't have personal interest in that area, you cannot work in proper way. Next is the significance. Significance is must. Can you conduct independent research and significantly contribute to that area or field? Check whether that topic relates to your contribution to developing new theory. Always research can be completed when we have a new theory. Otherwise, it is incomplete. Second significance is that testing of existing theory. Third is that investigation of new principles. Fourth is that challenges in the assumptions. Fifth is that development of any mathematical model or phenomena. And sixth is that any other research development you have. And that is the significance. And hence, I want to ask some important questions that we require during considering the significance of the study. It creates some of the questions related to your work. These questions are very important. You must understand these questions and you write this question in proper way. Why is my study important? If you are not thinking that your study is not important, then you cannot complete your work. Does my study develop new knowledge? Does it has practical applications? Practical applications research is very important. If it is not practical applications, your project is only theoretical. And hence, I will come to the next is that available data. So that is the criteria, third criteria, available data. What is this available data? The ability to collect data needed for your study is a major consideration. Here, you collect data first and then you select your topic. Otherwise, if you select topic first and after that you are collecting data, it will take time. And my suggestion is that you collect data first and then select your topic. Next is that knowledge and skills, very important. Knowledge and skills. Your work topic must be selected as per your knowledge and skills. Here, you can save your time in research. The main advantage is you can talk report contents knowledgeably. Your skill is very important in conducting some research techniques. Some work requires specific knowledge and skills that you may have. Next is that manageability. You have to manage something. Always remember that everywhere you have to manage your work. And what is this manageability in thesis writing? Manageability is very important in managing or organizing your literature review. This will help you to produce a specific problem statement with an association with theory of the statements. This is also important to manage the time required to complete your report. Here, we need the experience of writing all chapters. Here, I suggest you select a topic so that you can complete your project work and report writing within a year. So, what you want to consider according to your knowledge point, that is literature review is must, theory of the statements, all the chapters requirements, and your project work and your report. Next is the funding. Without funding, we cannot do any work. And hence, the financial constraints generally we have. And that financial constraint must be solved. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time for completion of your research work. Financial constraints greatly limit the scope of the research that you have decided. And after satisfying criteria for topic selections, I want to explain selection of important chapters, how to write, how to explain, how to divide your work in different chapters, and your work must be selected in different chapters. Before that, you have to arrange your work in proper way, in proper chapters, and you have to number your chapters, 5 chapters, 6 chapter, 8 chapter, like that. you have to decide on essential chapter first. How many chapters I want to select? Number 8, number 5, or number 6 or 7, like that. That may be introduction chapter, that may be literature review chapter, that may be methodology or experimental detail chapter, result and discussion chapter, conclusion chapters. These are the important chapters you have to select first. Before you write your introduction, you must know what research is first. This is very important. You have to write very clearly what research is first. You must select your research investigation for quantitative, qualitative, experimental, observation, and so on, to solve your research problems. Because your research work depending on different criteria. What is the criteria? Whether your research work is quantitative, it means with numbers. Qualitative means the quality work. Whether it is experimental work, you are doing actual experimentation, or you are doing some observations, you are collecting some observation from the industries, from the different organizations, and after that you are collecting data and you are doing your observation completely, and then you are solving your research problems later on. And hence, what is important, that is research analysis. Without research analysis, we are not able to complete your hypothesis. And generally, thesis writing depends on selected hypothesis, selection of questions that you consider for research, answering those questions, finding correct solutions, and generating new knowledge from your research analysis. I will explain later on what is exactly research analysis. And when you do the research analysis, you have to validate that analysis. Reliability is the must, and the correct conclusions are the essential to writing a good thesis. I will explain how to validate, how to reliable on your research work, how to complete your conclusions in next presentation. Unfortunately, most PhD candidates find it difficult to finish their thesis on time because of confusions and lack of expertise. Because they are in confusions, how to write, what is exactly research, what is questions, what is literature survey, what is my conclusions, how to draw the graphs, and completely avoid the confusions. And what is important is that you don't have the expertise in a particular research, and that is called as lack of expertise, and some research analysis may fail, and again you have to do the analysis one by one. So you must be perfect in that expert. You have to write your work like scientist. PhD candidates do not know how to write their thesis correctly and scientifically. They must know how and why objectives are required. You have to do the objectives of your work. The use of objectives gives ideas about scientific writing. Always research work is scientific writing. It is not simple writing. It is not a theory writing. It is a scientific writing. I will explain later on. You may determine that a quantitative analysis will suffice in answering your research question or will respond to your purpose. On the other hand, you may conclude that it is qualitative, the more profound understanding of the topic that responds to your purpose or ultimately. You may decide that a mixed method approach. Sometimes you have to do the analysis quantitative, qualitative, that is the separate. But some research work is that you are mixing both quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and that may be the best method of inquiry for your thesis and dissertation. Data analysis is an essential component of any research study. And hence I want to explain some techniques of thesis writing. What are the techniques? It is in the form of general structure of thesis writing. And hence, There are 9 general structure of thesis writing techniques. First is mandatory pages, introduction, literature review, methodology or setup of experimentation, results and discussion, summary and conclusions, and lastly, references that you refer, acknowledgements, if any, appendix. If you are not able to write in some part in the thesis, you have to write in after all chapters, that is appendix. We'll discuss one by one all the techniques in a good manner. So what is these mandatory pages? This include a title page, dedication if any, declaration, certification page, abstract, table of contents, list of figures, list of tables, and nomenclatures. These are generally given a different page number in small Roman nomenclatures. We cannot use 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. Always all mandatory pages are written in Roman numbers. The abstract is generally written last. When you complete your work, then you start your abstract writing. Otherwise, you are not able to write the complete abstract up to conclusions and has to around 800 to 1000 words. Within 800 and 1000 words, you can complete your abstract writing. Then, what is important in mandatory pages? What is important in mandatory pages? Title. Title is preferably not more than 15 words. When you select your title of your research work, it should not be more than 15 words. It should be specific. Title must be specific. It must be informative. A descriptive title is commonly used for thesis protocol. Interrogative title, that is, what is meant by interrogative title? Title must not be in the form of question. Question title is rejected and should be preferably avoided in the thesis protocol. Cover page. Cover page. What is this cover page? That is the front page. The purpose of cover page is to protect and identify the report. It must contain the title, the initials and surnames of the authors, the date of the completion, the name of the department and the university, and the university emblem. The title of the report must be considered very carefully. A good title is striking and reflects the contents of the report. And I will come to the abstract writing. Abstract writing is very important. It should create enough interest in the reader to read your entire thesis, because all the reader must read abstract first, then they will start writing from introduction. But it also should not have many details. It should give a quick overview of the importance of your research topic and then cover the main issues of your current work and mention the general implications of your work. It must summarize. Abstract must summarize the contents and most of the important findings so the reader can decide whether they want to read the rest of the report. Every word is important in the abstract. Limit the use of words that do not convey important information to a minimum. Before start of your report, you must have some idea. Before the start of your chapter, generally, you should complete the following contents. Title place. It includes your name, project title, department, institute name, and it should start generally in partial fulfillment of the degree or the degree. Abstract. It includes summary of studies like problem, purpose, brief description of the method, result, and general conclusions. Then table of contents. The table of contents tells the reader where to find each chapter, sub-chapter, table, figure, appendix. Dedication. Dedication is not necessary, but it is lovely thing to do. If you want to add dedication, then it is okay. Acknowledgement. Acknowledgement writing is very important. The acknowledgement section allows you to thank your guide, supporting staff, HOD, principal for their friendship, love, encouragement, support, and guidance. I think it is a tacky when people do not have an acknowledgement. Never forget where you came from or the people who supported you while you achieved the success. And acknowledgement is very important. This may or may not be read by the reviewers, but it is essential part as it recognizes the contribution of every work in your work. Next is the abbreviation list. So as per your knowledge, you can complete your abbreviation list, certificate according to your university, your college. Detection of plagiarism is very important. Detection of plagiarism may lead to rejection of the research work, penalty of the work, blacklisting of your published work. And last is very important, nomenclature. The list of the symbols that are used must begin on a new page. The list is arranged in the following sequence. All the ordinary symbols are listed first, followed by the superscripts and then the subscripts. Finally, the auxiliary symbols are listed, such as overbar, underscore, or for vectors, and averages or ascent marks for time-dependent components. The following order must be used within each of these groups. Firstly, all the Roman letters in alphabetical order, the capital letters for each symbol before the small letter. For example, suppose you want to write A, then after that it should be followed by small a and then followed by capital B, again small b, like that. Then all the Greek symbols can be selected in order of the Greek alphabet, then capital letters before small letters. Finally, the symbols begin with numbers in numerical order. Then you have to write the introduction of thesis. This is very important chapter, that is the first chapter. This is an essential part of the thesis as it will provide the first impression to the reader. It should start with giving the reader the motivation for your research work. It should shed the context of your research. Very briefly, it should cover the work done so far and indicate the importance of your work. It should always give an overview of your results and the key findings. Towards the end of the introduction, one can briefly describe the structure of your thesis, as in what information is given in which chapter is very important. And introduction is the most challenging part of PhD thesis. A good introduction is critical to capturing your reader's attention and engaging their interest in your research. Before start of your writing this chapter, you must ask these questions yourself. What is going to be done? What are you doing to? Who is likely to be interested in it? What exactly is the hypothesis or the problems? What is the possible use of the research? What is the research focus? Then these are the questions for you, your reference only. Means you can understand what should be written in the introduction chapter. The emphasis must be placed on the central chapters. A report is like a story. It must have a beginning, it must have the middle portion, it must have the end portion, but the middle portion of your thesis writing is the actual story of your work. The introduction must not be too long. Many students are writing introduction in 50 pages, 30 pages, like that. It is not a good work. And appendixes must not overpower the central chapters. Many candidates writing so many things in the appendices, that is not recommendable. And I will come to the chapter 1 in precise way. Chapter 1 must be contain purpose and significance of the study. What is the purpose of research? What is the significance of the study? Already I have explained what is the significance in the earlier slides. In the first chapter, clearly state what the purpose of the study is and explain the study's significance. The significance is addressed by discussing how the study adds to the theoretical body of the knowledge in the field and the study's practical significance for communication professionals in the area being examined. Before start of literature review, I want to explain some of the ideas. PhD students also must explain how their research makes an original contribution to the body of knowledge in their discipline. Preferably, your research work must be a very original work. PhD candidates also should address the significance of the study for their communication education. It is specifically critical that each chapter be well developed. Without clearly defined purpose and firm theoretical grounding, the thesis or dissertation is fundamentally flawed. Every chapter should be focused on one topic, that is, it should have clear purpose. The title of the chapter normally reflects the purpose, and hence, after considering all this, you have to write the literature review. This part gives the reader a good or bad, broad understanding of all the research work already done in your area, how your work differs from theirs. Theirs means here other authors. One should try to include as many relevant pages as possible. There is no point in simply increasing the number of papers reviewed if they don't add value to what we are saying. Many candidates are using so many papers, adding references up to 300, 500 like that. That is no meaning. Whatever may be the papers or publications selected, that must be in the your thesis. Papers that support your work must be highlighted. This is very important. Ideas that are opposed to your work can also be mentioned, but you should add what it is still a good idea to your research. If your research is wrong, your research is failure showing, and even though that it can be mentioned in the literature, in the end, one must conclude what you have understood from the literature survey and identify the research gap. Why we want a literature review? Because it is very easy to identify the research gap. You should also explain briefly how you will try and address that gap in the respective chapters. Before writing literature review, you have to ask these questions yourself for clarification of literature review. I am giving this question to you. What you have others said, written, researched about your topic. These are the questions. What have others said about your research work, written work, research about your topic? What theories illuminate your topic? How does the literature relate to your research questions? And I want to explain detail in chapter 2, that is the review of the literature. The literature review thus describes and analyzes previous research on the topic. This chapter should not merely string together what other researchers have found. Instead, you should discuss and analyze the body of knowledge with the ultimate goal of determining what is known and what is not known about the topic. This is very important. The determination leads to your research questions and hypotheses. In some cases, you may determine that replicating previous research is needed. Now, most important is problem statement. Many candidates not able to write the problem statement. I want to explain some techniques how to write the problem statement in thesis writing. problem statements, research questions, hypotheses, and study contributions are significant for the PhD candidates. If you are not able to clear problem statements, research question, hypothesis, and study contributions, you are not able to write the complete thesis. So what is exactly you want to do for the problem statement? What are the exact problems to be investigated? So when you understand, when you answer it clearly, what are the exact problems to be investigated? This must be explained by you very carefully. Then you can complete problem statement. Next question is that, is it intended to discover new knowledge? The answer must be yes. What sources will be used during your investigations? And hence, after completing your problem statement, you come to the methodology, experimental setup, experimental details. I want to explain about it. And hence, you have to complete all methodology, setup, experimental details. Generally, the following 1 or 2 chapters will be focused on explaining the methodology of your work. For experimental work, it can be a description of the setup, because during experimentation you have to generate some setup, you have to use some machineries, you have to use some engines, that you have to explain that setup. Experimental details, that is the parameters you are using, you are using some small instruments, you have to write that instruments used, how you have measured various parameters, the calibration accuracy. Without doing calibration, you cannot take accurate readings, and hence accuracy of the experimentation is very important. If you are doing wrong experimentation with wrong reading, definitely the graphs and your conclusions may be wrong. And hence some students are doing, instead of experimentation work, they are doing their work in numerical work. For numerical work, it can focus on the algorithm used in the research work, software used in the research work, grid independence details we require. These chapters would convince the reader that you have followed a robust methodology for carrying out your research. And hence, how to correlate the mathematical or numerical work is very important. That is called as mathematical correlations. Mathematical correlations may be used to show the degree of association between 2 or more variables chosen, because you have to do the correlation of more than 1 or 2 parameters, and high correlations may allow predictions or point the way to experimentations. Then you are doing research methodology. What is exactly research methodology? Already you learn all the research methodology from the previous lectures. Before research methodology, you have to prepare some questions. You have to answer that questions completely. What are that questions for research methodology? How will you approach empirical work? What style and techniques have been chosen and why? What samples you have chosen for your experimentation? What are the testing methods you have chosen? What are the observation methods? What are the measurements you have to select, like that? And we have to select your research methodology. After considering research methodology, then you have to select the correct research methodology for your work. What means that? What is meant by selection? Give complete justification of the research approach if required. In the thesis writing, you have to give the justification of the research approach, because when you select any methods, and you have to use why it is used in the thesis writing. During this, you need to cover 2 areas: overall styles of the research and actual techniques to be used within your work. And you have to write the third chapters, that is methodology. What is the chapter? Describes and justifies the data gathering method used. This chapter also outlines how you analyze your data. Begin by describing the method you choose and why this method was the most appropriate. You have to explain this, why this method was the most appropriate. And hence you have to write the appropriate methods in the methodology chapter, in third chapter. In doing so, you must cite references literature about the procedure. Whenever you are using some references in the methodology, you have to cite that reference in the literature. Next is that detail every step of the data gathering and analysis process. Although this section varies depending on the method and analysis technique chosen, many of the following areas typically are addressed. What is that addressed area? First is that description of the research design. You have to describe the research design in the chapter very well. Justification for the type of sample used. Many times we are using the samples. You have to give the justification why that sample is used, what are the material for the samples, what are the dimensions of the samples, like that. Or methods for selecting units of the observations, developments of the instruments, how that used instruments, why it is used in the systems, and why the methods are selected for your research. And hence you have to write the correct observations during writing the methodology. A description of the data analysis is very must during that period. Now we will come to the data analysis. Data analysis is very important for the research writing. What mean by data analysis? You have to write some questions. You have to write the answers of these questions. What data has been found to you? What is your interpretation of different data? We have to do the we have some type of data, one data, second data, third data, and we have to interpret one data with second, second with third, and that is called as interpretation of different data. Next question you have to do that, do they prove or refute? Now sometimes you have to refute the argument is not actual, that is the hypothesis. And now you come to the result and discussions. After completion of all, we have to come to the results. What are my results? In that results, how I discuss the results, and what is the importance of results and discussion in the thesis writing? What techniques we are using in the thesis writing for results and discussion? It is very important. This section deals with the key findings of your work. You should generally have enough material for this, as it is the core of your work, because core writing is very important. That is actual research work. That is actual your work. You must present the your results appropriately. So what are the results in the form of charts we are providing, contour plots we are providing, tables format. The what is exactly graphs means? Graphs containing data that needs to be compared. For example, experimental data, analytical data, numerical data must be combined in the same figure so that reader can directly compare the values. Many candidate can use one data in for making one graph. Don't make it. Let us say you have to draw comparative data. In one graph we have 8 graphs, and after that you are comparing 8 graphs, and you have to write why it is having lower values, why it is having the higher values, like that. The quantity of information in one graph must be limited to distinguish the different symbols. When you write 8 graphs, you have to use the 8 symbols for differentiation of the graphs. Now, during writing the results and discussion, a paragraph should not be longer than 10 lines, because readers seldom read long paragraphs. So make it short. Make the short paragraphs during writing. Have the graphs axis been correctly named? Many candidates are not able to write the axis name correctly. What is x-axis chosen? What is y-axis chosen? What are the units of that graphs? What are the columns headings of the tables? Many a times when you prepare the tables, there is no heading of the tables. It is rejected, and hence always use the headings of the tables during writing. And I want to explain in detail how to write the chapter 4, that is result and discussion in detail. This chapter addresses the result from your data analysis only. This chapter does not discuss other research literature or the implication of your findings. You can write analysis of the test conducted during your experimentation. You can discuss the factors responsible for your results obtained. Then you can prepare respective tables, figures to illustrate and summarize your results or informations. You can categorize your research work qualitatively and quantitatively. In the discussion part, discuss what your findings or results mean in relation to the theoretical body of the knowledge on the topic of your project. Begin by discussing your findings or results in relation to the theoretical framework introduced in the literature review. Ninth is that in some cases you may need to introduce new literatures. Sometimes you are using new literatures in the result chapters, mainly qualitative research. Then you have to explain it very clearly. In the discussion part, you can write about your findings, about future requirements, and your work's practical implications. What are the practical implications on the research? That is very important. It would help you if you mention the suggestion of your work in the development of engineering education or industries. You have to suggest some work in the form of research design. A good quality thesis takes about 10 to 12 months to complete. So what time is required for writing thesis after completion of experimentation? It takes 10 to 12 months to complete writing. When you want good writing, it will take always longer period. You should carefully edit your thesis writing. You must check the spell check of your thesis writing. There are two types of editing thesis. The first is micro editing. Second is macro editing. I will explain because macro editing and macro editings are very important for correct. Otherwise, reviewer reject your thesis writing. I want to explain what is meant by micro editing. Micro means small observations during checking. After completion of your thesis writing, you have to check it very correctly. That is called as micro editing. Micro means very small mistake you are finding. It involves correction of spelling. If there is spelling mistake, you have to correct it. Grammatical errors, checking for proper paragraphs. Paragraphs must be in continuation. One paragraph and second paragraph, earlier paragraph must be in continuation. Checking for sentence structures. What is my future tense? What is my present tense? What is my past tense? How to write past tense? How to select a future tense? What is the present tense? This checking is very important. Consistent use of terms, because terminology explanation is very important. You must understand the terminology. If you are using difficult terminology in the thesis writing, you have to write the meaning of that terminology. We are using variety in word choice. Let us say I am using same word repetitively, then it is not good writing. Always for good writing, you are selecting a very varieties of words for same writing, and hence uh, these are about micro editing of thesis. Next is the macro editing of thesis. Macro means very large. There are there are big mistakes in the writing. Then it is called as macro. Always macro editing means what? Macro means it contains lot of mistakes. To edit or assess overall structure of the thesis, whether my chapter is correct, what is wrong in the graphs, what is wrong in the result, that is the macro editing. To make sure that each chapter flows logically. The flow must be logically one paragraph, second paragraph. There must be logically flow from the previous chapter what is written in the first chapter, second chapter, third chapter, like that. What are the heading corrections, whether that heading is correct or whether that heading is suitable for the paragraph, and subheadings are suitable or not, whether you have to check correctly or consistently. Macro editing also determines whether any parts of the thesis need to be streamlined or expanded. Then you come to the very important, that is result and discussion is a very important part in thesis writing. So your result and discussion must be matching with the objective that you have written in the thesis. If the objectives are not matching, you are not able to write the correct results. And hence, what you take proper care of it, the objective should be make the reader aware of the critical parts of the results. The discussion should merely state the obvious. If your discussion part must be related to the results, must be related to the objectives, research gap, like that. It should make the reader understand why these results are essential and what they mean. And hence, after that, you come to the summary of the discussion. Summary of the discussion is very important. After completion of the summary of discussion, you come to the conclusions. What this mean by summary of discussion? This chapter briefly summarizes the entire work and points out the key conclusions we have obtained. The conclusions should be crisp, not too elaborate. Many students are writing very lengthy conclusions, and it is not allowed it. In the form of 1 or 2 sentences, your conclusions may be written. So what we want to do after conclusions, the future scope of your work is either included in the conclusion chapter or maybe added separate chapter. The future scope of your work, if you are not able to complete your work within your stipulated time, then you know the procedure of your work, your research, but you are not able to write that completely, and then that incomplete work can be work, or they can do, another person can complete your work. That is the scope of your work. The future scope should not be too vague. In one page, your future scope can be mentioned. It should be natural extension of what you have already done. And what is mean by exactly presentation of conclusions? Presentation of conclusion is very must. If you are not able to present conclusions according to objectives that you have selected or research gap that you have selected, your conclusions may be wrong. I want to explain very clearly uh, how to write the conclusions, what are your recommendations. Many PhD candidates repeat the results in the conclusion part. So what you write in the result, many times that results can be copy paste from the result chapter. It is not allowed. You have to write the conclusion part very clearly. Result must not be repeated but summarized and related to the hypothesis or research questions. And hence, I want to explain some of the good way of writing the conclusions. Before that, I want some questions. I want to explain some questions to you that are very important for writing conclusions. What are that questions? How can you summarize the work? This is the very important. If you are failed in summarize your work, then you are not able to write the correct conclusions. Second question is that, are there any actions or recommendations to take? Yes, if you have giving appropriate recommendations or actions, then that may be the good conclusions. Was it all successful? Some results are not successful. Some results may be wrong. Whether you have to check whether my results are very successful or not, and you have to mention that successful result, wrong results in the conclusions part. Then write a summary of the entire thesis in a few pages. Okay, it is very important. The conclusions may be related to your literature review. If your conclusion is not matching with the literature review, it means that you have not done the correct literature survey. mention some suggestion for future research. That is very important. Then come to the references. How to write the references? Many candidates are not able to write the references. What is the meaning of reference in the thesis writing? These give details of all the papers cited in the thesis. There are several different standards for presenting them. According to the publications, according to the university, you have to select one format of the reference, and that format must be followed throughout. One must select an appropriate average and stick to it. Don't change the references style in between. There are different ways of generating them. Automatically, we can use the software for writing the references for correctness. MS Word, LaTeX may be selected to avoid the mistakes during writing the references. In case it is being done manually, one must double check to ensure no paper cited in the work is missed out from the references. If you have given the uh, reference, you have written something in the literature survey or methodology introduction, and you have not mentioned that references, it is very wrong thing during writing. It is not ethical writing, and hence when you write the ethical writing, that you have to give the references of each writing, what books you have referred, what journals you have referred, what papers you have referred, and other sources have been referred throughout your work must be given in the references. The average thesis contain more than 100 references. That are a very correct references that you are providing. So these are the format. I will not explain these because of time limit. So you have to select the correct references format according to your university. Generally, this reference format may be followed in many publications, many thesis writing. If you have any difficulty, you can ask me. So these are the 8 points regarding writing the references. Then you have to do the planning of thesis writing. I have completed one part of the my today's lecture. What is the title of my today's lecture? Thesis writing techniques and planning. I have completed first part of it. I have completed my thesis planning techniques. I will come to the second writing, that is the planning of thesis writing. How to plan? If there is a wrong planning, you cannot complete your thesis writing. So we must have the planning of it. We must have the planning of it. I will not explain the appendix because of the time limit. I will come to the planning of thesis writing. Timeline of the project report writing is very important. You have to prepare the Gantt chart for the scheduling of thesis work. Research diary you have to maintain from the first day of your thesis writing or experimentation writing or your experimentation starting. You have to maintain the research diary. In research diary, you have to write small things. Otherwise, you may get confused, and during writing, you are able to write a wrong data. To-do list you have to prepare. What is important first, what is not important, you have to do the to-do list. Writing progress is essential to complete writing. Timetable must be prepared to complete your task. Divide your thesis writing work in different small work. Suppose what is my today's work, what is tomorrow's work. So you have to divide the small work in that period. If you fix the period, definitely that work can be completed within the time. So what you want to do in time? Divide your thesis work writing into different small work, like the background of your thesis, discussion with experts. Because when you write something, so you have some colleagues, you are discussing that part with your experts, colleagues, you are discussing literature review, meeting with supervisors. If supervisor has given some corrections, you have to do it, and it requires some time. Data collection, we require some time. Writing the introduction, we require some time. Writing aims of the titles, aims of the research work is required some time. Methodology, data entry, preparation of the observation tables, analysis of data, selection of software for analysis, interpretation of data, writing results, preparation of charts, figures and flow charts, presentation of results in the proper format, and critical analysis of research requires sometimes. If you are not following the sequence, if you are writing something wrong, then definitely your thesis writing takes lot of period. After that, compare your findings and results with international and national findings and results. When you are always you are comparing your data with publications, write reasons for his findings if there are differences in findings and results. If your data is matching with other data, then you have to write again why it is matching. If it is not matching, then again you have to write some reasons why it is not matching. Limitations of the findings. Explain your future research directions. Summary of the research discussion. Final results you have to write. Proofreading is very important. After completion of your work, proofreading is very important. If you are not doing proofreading, then there may be some mistakes. Final draft is very important. You have to prepare final draft. Proper drafting of thesis writing is very important. According to the university, proper drafting is very important. Check grammar and spelling. It is very important. You have to use some softwares for checking your grammar, checking your spelling. According to that software, you can make the corrections. Contents of the writings are very important. All the contents must be in sequence. Whether it is written in correct numbering, it is also important. References numbers are very important. Plagiarism check is also important. Time required for corrections after supervisor suggestions, that is very important. Printing, some time is required for printing of your thesis. Submission of your report requires some time, and hence I will take 5 to 10 minutes for the care taking during writing. Many times candidate cannot take care, and hence they are making lot of mistakes. Apart from the above, ensure that the thesis is grammatically correct by using spell check and grammar check software. Use good quality images. Many times you are taking photographs from your mobiles or your then that images are not getting correctly, or blurs figures are there. That don't use the blur figures or not correct visible figures. If you are putting visible not visible figures, that is not good for good projects. If you are using the writing words, access appropriate captions, good formatting is very important. I will not explain the method of good formatting. Otherwise, your thesis work is wrong. Formatting is must, and ensure that formatting is consistent with throughout. These will ensure better readability, and thus the chances of thesis acceptance improves. What I expect from the reviewer is that my thesis must be accepted by the reviewer in the minimum time. Otherwise, they will take time for your reviews, and hence write your PhD work very clearly so that average person can understand your work. Thesis writing is a special skill. Every PhD candidate must develop that skill. PhD candidate can write their thesis correctly and scientifically. The methodology can be written so that it can explain very clearly how to do it in a very simple manner. General understanding during writing. You have to explain the skills needed for the research. Find the necessary literature for a particular skills. Do not assume anything. Many candidates assume and writing according to their way. It is very wrong. If your work must be quantitative, means you have to write the numbers. Many times you are writing small work, it is given in small quantity, big quantity, like that. Don't write that way. Qualitative work, it must be always qualitative work. Description and appearance, very important. Choose your study area perfectly. General understanding during writing. Focus on specific objectives and research questions. Select the style of research. Organize your research writing chapter wise. It is very important. Prepare and write very carefully research techniques and instruments used during research. General, again, list out collected data, arrange them data very correctly, sort out data as per the area of work, interpretation and analysis of the collected data very accurately, write your investigation done very correctly. So what we want to do, we have some question in theme writing, purpose, main objective of research. That must be in proper way. What is the thesis for scientific research? Avoid vagueness while writing the thesis. Avoid these words like have a look at. Many times have a look at, try to see if, and repetitive writing, always avoid it. Be positive during writing. If you are writing negatively, thesis may be rejected. Always there must be positive writing. So aim of research is very important. I will not explain it. Always ask the question your research, what is this research for? Clarify your research questions, visual summaries if you are selecting graphs, any other things, and explain it properly. Last is that plagiarism is very important. Plagiarism is the acknowledged use of someone else writing intellectual property one's own. Otherwise, they will take action on you. Or on universities and college regard to gross misconduct, they will take action on misconduct, and hence your project or your thesis may be blacklisted. Thesis proofreading is very important. You have to write the summary of writing of all appendix writing, layout of thesis, draft report. I will not explain all these things. How to use number during layout. Thank you very much for listening my lecture very carefully.